kick around how we got this all started, and it's a good story. Basically, we had developed our own fraternity over at this old boy's house named Clyde Hake. And he said, you know, we need to start our own fraternity, which we did. And we called it Alpha Chi Alpha, the beginning and the end and the beginning. Then we had to address the Interfraternal Council to try to get accepted and to bring us on campus. Everybody at that time were national. The KAs used to be the Paragons. The Lambda Chi's used to be the Artemas. So everybody was national fraternity. So we tried to get in as a local social fraternity, and they turned us down. Not once, but maybe 2 or 3 times. And there was a guy on that fraternity, I'll never forget his name, was Douglas Yates from Texarkana. But anyway, I told old Douglas, I said, let me tell you something. If y'all don't approve us on this next meeting, I'm going to whip everybody's ass in that Interfraternal Council. Lo and behold, we get accepted. And we go Alpha Chi Alpha and all the athletic events and all the everything and win them all. Archery included and whatever it was. We had a great fraternity, and we had about probably 50, 60 guys. We were meeting on Monday nights just like the rest of the fraternities in an old building over in the English building. And basically we wanted to get us a national charter with somebody. So I'll never forget, I'm up in front and I said, okay, who do we want to petition? SAE, so-and-so, so-and-so.
I think Joe Keelihar is the one that said, my mama sure does like that song. You know, Sweetheart of Sigma Chi. And Dudley Hess had played Sigma Chi at Texas and was influential in deciding to go Sigma Chi.
We started hearing rumors of what we were looking forward to in the way of a national affiliation, and I didn't know a lot about fraternities. Most of those names, Greek letters and things, I didn't know what they were. Most of us probably didn't at that time, but we had heard of Sigma Chi.
So I put it on the chalkboard, and we had about 5 or 6 names up there, and it came time to vote, show of hands. Okay, all in favor. And so we, Sigma Chi, and that got the majority of the votes. So that's what we said we'd do. So the next day would have been a Tuesday. I picked up the phone and I called Sigma Chi's in Evanston, Illinois. Never forget, I think the main man, he was an older fella, and he answered, and I told him, what we were trying to do. And he said, well, let me tell you what you need to do. He said, we need to send some people down there to see how y'all are and who you are and this, that, and the other. So they sent the TCU chapter over. And we shook hands and had fun, and then we said, why don't y'all come back and we'll have a little party. So we rent the Armory in Greenville, had a big dance and girls and all that stuff, and shook hands with them, hugged their necks, and I guess they gave us a great recommendation because the old man called me. And he said, Lloyd, here's what I want you to do. He said, I want you to go on campus and I want you to find the best guys you can find and put them in Alpha Chi Alpha. And I said, without pledgeship? He said, no pledgeship, just put them in and get them going so we can come down there in whatever it was going to be, 4 or 5 months, and initiate you guys.
I came into the fraternity right after it had been decided that the charter would be granted. It was a long ordeal, a long process to get the charter. You had to go through several visitations by the national officers. The charter process was a long drawn-out thing. It took us about 2 years.
Now bear in mind, we didn't have anything but money that we had raised from beer bust and things like that, and we were charging, I think, if I'm not mistaken, $10 a month. Sigma Chi told me, he said, Lloyd, he said, y'all need $500. You mail that in with, your forms and everything. I said, $500? I said, that's like $5 million.
If we had enough money, we usually bought a keg instead of thinking about chartering a fraternity.
So we had beer bust and raised it. you know, and everybody chipped in till we came up with the 500, and Benny Longhacker said, well, I think we've got another 200 in the treasury. I said, get it out, because we got to have it. So we sent them a check for $500. Then in about, I guess it was 4 or 5 months, here comes the Sigma Chi's.
But we had several things happen that week. You know, we were supposed to be silent and weren't supposed to have dates. And a couple of our brothers snuck off and got caught in the bushes with a girl, and we didn't know whether they were going to get initiated or not. But they did. But I think one of the interesting things that happened during initiation week was the fact that Kennedy was assassinated that week. Big dilemma. Do we put off the initiation? Do we wait? What do we do? And the national officer said, we're here to initiate these guys. And so they went ahead with the initiation and granted us a charter then in November.
And they initiate everybody, and that's how it just about all got started. But it was a great trip. And of course I made it a lot shorter than what it actually was. But that's what I remember, and that's what I, think about when I think about Sigma Chi.